What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tabletop Bros. Today we're going to be unboxing Necromunda Ash Wastes. And typically I'll unbox stuff when it's new or like really old and rare, but this box in particular we're unboxing for a specific reason. This box is currently still part of the range, and this is like one of the big starter sets available for Necromunda, and it retails for over $300. And currently you can pick this up on Amazon for about 150 bucks. And in the world of Warhammer, for new items, it's almost impossible to get 50% discount on brand new items. So while this box didn't perform particularly well at over $300 MSRP, to be able to pick it up for about $150 shipped, and it contains close to $500 in product, it's definitely worth taking a look at. So let's jump right in here after we take a look at what's inside. Okay, so when you glance at the actual picture on the back and everything, there's a bunch of stuff listed, but it just doesn't really look like that much. But part of the reason it's so deceptive is because the picture is zoomed way out, because it's set up on a massive board. But if you just look at the actual box itself and just how thick it is, this thing is absolute beast mode. Alright, so this box is one of, if not the biggest starter box sets Games Workshop has ever produced, and it is just absolutely loaded with plastic. Alright, so now we got everything out of the box. Let's take a look at what's actually inside and talk a little bit about why this box performs so poorly, which is the only reason you can pick it up now for like less than half price. So here's our little instruction manual, and this thing is absolutely massive. It's 32 pages of like assembly guide, and then there's gang lists for the actual Orlocks and the Ash Wastes Nomads so that you can play them in your games. On top of that, you get a full-size rulebook, and this thing is nice and thick. It is hardback, and then comes with our token sheets as well. Everything you need to play the actual game, including like the vehicles. And then we have a set of dice, and this is all the regular dice you need to play the game, as well as the vehicle dice. So we get 2 sets of dice in this box. All right, and then we also get this big, thick deck of cards. All right, and if we separate it up, we're basically gonna have the Ash Wastes campaign card set, the Ash Wastes trade route set, the tactics cards, and then we get 20 ganger cards and 5 vehicle cards. So the 20 ganger cards are universal and can be used for any gangs in any setting in Necromunda, and then the 5 vehicle cards are specifically for vehicles, which are designed for the Ash Wastes setting. And then we have the Ash Wastes campaign cards, and obviously these are designed to play the Ash Wastes campaign. And then there's the Ash Wastes trade route cards, and then finally the Ash Wastes tactics cards. And these are specifically designed with like the vehicles and like also gangers in mind to be playing like tactics in the Ash Wastes. All right, and then we have this massive fold out battle mat, and this is like over twice the size of like your normal battle mat. And part of the reason that the picture on the back looks like a little bit overwhelming is because it's hard to actually take into account just how big this mat is. And then of course we have the actual templates and everything to play the game, little generic like floppy ruler, and then a ton of bases for all of the vehicles and gangers. Alright, so now I got it separated out. So this is all of the terrain right here. 9 total terrain sprues, including 1 of scatter terrain. So it's like 8 of the like hab modules and stuff, and then 1 of the actual like barricades and scatter terrain. Alright, and then here we have the Orlocks and the Ash Wastes Nomads. So the Orlocks first. Alright, so we have 2 of the actual regular Orlock Ganger sprues. And each of those sprues is going to let you make 5 of the Orlock Gangers, including like some heavy and special weapons. So you can make 10 total Orlocks. And then we have 2 of the vehicle sprues as well. And each of these is going to assemble 1 of the quads. So you can make 2 total Orlock Quads with like some various different like heavy special weapons. And then from there we have the Ash Wastes Nomads. So we have 2 of those sprues also. And each of these is identical and going to let you make 5 of the Ash Wastes Nomads, or 10 total. And then we have 2 sprues of the Bug Riders, and each one of these is going to let you make 2 of the Bugs and Riders. So a total of 4 of those. So we have 14 total models for the Ash Wastes Nomads, and we have 12 total models for the Orlock Gangers. And then from there we have one sprue of like your typical Necromunda like barricades and stuff like that. It's got like some ammo crates, your regular like barricades and everything. And then like a cool little like a few thematic pieces, including like our old tentacle. And then from there we have a few pieces of like the Ash Wastes actual terrain sprues. And these are unique to the set. And there's 3 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, and 1 of those. So 8 total sprues making like the hab modules. So we have 2 of these sprues, which are identical. And these basically have like the tops of the hab modules and then like the sides. And this is going to make like your typical like hab module terrain pieces. And these are like really nice. Each one of these is a full sprue. And there's like a ton of plastic on these. They're very weighty. And it's actually like really cool terrain. They could not only work like in your indoor settings for Necromunda, but also obviously the Ash Wastes or like Warhammer 40k, anything like that. Potentially even Star Wars. Very cool. And then we get one of these. This is basically like your upgrade sprue. So it has like a little like canopy, like tent pieces, a bunch of ladders, some doors and stuff like that. But this one is like loaded up with accessories that you like put onto your actual like habs to essentially like add some extra like detail and coolness to them. You got like radio antennas, all kinds of stuff. This is pretty cool. You only get one of these in the set, but there's enough accessories to like spread out throughout your terrain. All right, and then next we have 3 of these pieces. So these 3 are all identical, and they have essentially like the bases and then like the pillar parts that support the hab modules. And then each of these has 2 half pieces for like the bottom of the hab module itself. And then if we just kind of flip them over, you can see this is how they would normally be mounted. There's like ladder pieces, accessories, all kinds of like detail stuff, including like the little front area that like the gantry is like attached to. On these, again, very heavy, very nice pieces right here. And these, you'll notice as well, have like the compatibility stuff on here to go along with like a lot of the Sector Mechanicus terrain. So these are really cool and very easy to integrate into like your 40k stuff. And you get 3 of these total, and that's going to make up the bulk of the terrain in the set. And then last but not least, in the box set, we have 2 of these. So again, these have like some base pieces on there and everything. And then these have like all of like the gantries or like walkways that connect between these, as well as this sort of like freestanding piece where they all connect together. There's also like some railings and stuff like that. Again, these are really cool and add like a lot to your set. And again, if we flip these over, we can see like the compatibility on the bottom right here with that Sector Mechanicus terrain. So once again, these can go along with like your existing 40k stuff and be integrated into those sets really nicely. And we'll notice also that like these pieces right here are the same dimensions as the Sector Mechanicus octagon pieces as well. So like the larger pieces can actually fit perfectly around the outside of these. Instead of using these pieces, we can use the regular octagon set and then build onto those. It's just really cool how much compatibility between these 2 sets. And it's surprising that Games Workshop doesn't talk about it. So when it's all said and done, if you're just after the plastic itself, you get 26 models in this set, including like 6 of the like vehicle models, even though technically the ones in the Ash Wastes Nomads set are bugs. You get a ton of terrain, and that's the big appeal to this set, and part of the reason I don't think it did that well, because it takes up a lot of space, it takes a lot of effort to get it all built up and painted. But to tell you the truth, a lot of the value comes from this terrain stuff because Games Workshop charges an insane amount for these actual hab modules. I want to say it's something like 80 bucks for one of these hab modules, which is just a couple of these sprues. So if you just total up all the individual components that come in this box set, it would easily cost you over $500 MSRP. And right now these are available on Amazon for 150 bucks. So you really can't beat the deal right now on this set. And while I do understand why this set performed poorly, because people don't like that $300 price point, the fact that you can pick them up for 150 bucks makes this set an absolute steal. The book alone is like 70 bucks. You get all the cards, the tokens, the templates, and then tons and tons of models and then terrain as well. And again, if you were just going to pick up like the Orlock Gangers or the Ash Wastes Nomads in sets of 10, you're going to pay like 60 bucks a piece for those. So just the Gangers without the vehicles that come in this set would cost you $120. You add in the vehicles and you're well over 250 bucks just in actual minis. And then you take into account the terrain and you're talking about a few $100s there. And then the rule book, the tokens, the cards, all that stuff. And before long, you're up over close to like $500 or $600 in MSRP value. And again, you can pick it up for 150 bucks. So absolutely awesome set. And again, if it wasn't for Games Workshop getting too greedy and overpricing the set to begin with, there's no way we'd be able to get it now for such a great deal. And the fact that it's still available right now in Games Workshop's web store for over $300, and we can get it at 50% off, including tax and shipping on Amazon, tells you right there just how good of a deal this is. So if you enjoyed today's video, if you like the unboxing, if you're thinking about picking one of these up, or you do, I'll leave a link down in the description. I don't get anything out of you purchasing. Just like to bring value to the community and tell you guys when I find an awesome deal. If you got any value out of this video and enjoyed it, hopefully by now Tabletop Bros has earned your subscription. But obviously with all these sprues in front of me, I got my work cut out for me. So in the meantime, that's it from the Tabletop Bros. Later.